Vande Vrindavanacharam Vallavejana Vallabham Jayanti Sambhavam Dhama Vaijayanti Vibhushanam. We finished with the fifth shloka. We have to start with the sixth. Sakavihi tathyate srashta ramate yatra bharati rasa bhava guni bhutaihi alankaraihi gunodayaihi. The poet is still in the phase of telling how people have to accept his poetry, right? So there have been many great poets like Valmiki, Vyasa, etc., who have also written, but he is அதாவது அவளை அப்படி கைப்பிடிச்சுட்டு அவ ஆயிஷன் போறாங்கிற மாதிரி. It's like they handheld him and they're taking him the vyase hridaya sthite iti uktva. He is also attempting to be a kavi here. And in a veiled manner, he is saying that his kavyam also has rasa, bhava, gunabhuta, vyangyam, alankaras and everything. Okay. The next one is very typical of many poets, and especially you can see the influence of Kalidasa in this shloka. Kalidasa uses the same shloka, very similar intent in his Malavikaagnimitram. The Vyakhyata also mentions that at the end here. Tadatve nutanam sarvam ayatyancha puratanam na doshaya etad ubhayam na gunaya cha kalpate. Tadatve nutanam sarvam. Sarvam tadatve nutanam. Tadatve, tada ityasya bhavaha tadatvam. Tva is a pratyam that you can include wherever you want to say that quality or that bhava. It's a tadbhava. So when I say sundarasya bhavaha sundaratvam, the quality of being a handsome person. So that is that handsomeness. Wherever you want to include that ness in it, you use the pratyaya either ta or tvam. So I can say sundaratvam, sundarata, saundaryam, that's another way, or sundarima. There are different ways of expressing, right? So here tada is, even though it is an abhyayam, you say tadatve at that particular point of time. Whenever it is being created, every creation, every poetry is nutanam. It is very new at that point of time. Tadatve nutanam sarvam ayatyancha puratanam. Ayati is future. So ayatyam, in the future, bhavishyat kale, uttara kale, puratanam bhavishyati. So something that is created at that particular time is always new. And when it, as time goes by, it slowly becomes something which is old. So there is nothing that is constantly new or tradition. Now, there's a very beautiful interview by Balamurali Krishna where, they'll say, which are you upholding tradition? What is tradition according to you? He would say, it's a tradition. What is tradition? Tradition is something that someone at the point of time when he created, it would have been new at that point of time. Today we may call it tradition because so many centuries have gone by. But whatever I create today, maybe few decades later that will become tradition. Who knows? He would say. So tadatve nutanam sarvam. Sarvam, everything that is created at that particular point of time, it is nutanam, new. Ayatyancha puratanam. When the future arrives, uttarakale, then it becomes prachinam. Etat ubhayam api. Ubhayam here is both nutanam and puratanam. Whether it is new or whether it is old, both na doshaya na gunaya va kalpate. It is neither bad nor it is gunam. You can't say that, okay, it is new, so it is very good. It is new, so it is very bad. Neither can we say that, oh, the olden tradition is the best. Olden tradition is bad. We have come up with newer things. Either way, we cannot say. You have to analyze both, and a person has to take a very conscious decision based on his intellect or analysis. Okay. So I want to go with the Pratipadartham. The further in the Bhavartha and all, he makes it much clearer. Yeah. Sarvam. Yeah.
Yeah. Pratipadartha. Sarvam idaninantam.
Idanintanam.
Idanintanam. Praktanam cha prabandhajatam.
So you understand, right? Idanin tanam. Tanam always is something that is present right now. Praktana. Praktana is something that which belongs to prak bhavam, praktanam. Idanim bhavam, idanin tanam. It's again another pratyaya that joins there and it changes to tana. Prabandha jatam. Prabandha is work. Jatam means samuham. When you include a jatam, it means a samuham, the entire gamut of literature. So prabandha jatam. I can say pushpa jatam, all the flowers in the world. So it's like a samuham varta.
So everything that is today and in the past. Tadatve tatkale. Nutanam navinam. Ayatyam uttarakale. Puratanam prachinam.
Okay, so ayati is future.
Ayatya, yeah.
Etadubhayancha.
Etadubhayancha nutanatvam puratanatvam cha.
So because he doesn't say which one, etat ubhayam is there in the second line. So we have to take from the first line that he is indicating both the nutanam and puratanam. So etat ubhayam means both nutanam and puratanam.
Puratanam. Na doshaya na gunaya cha kalpate. That is na doshakaram na va gunakarancha. So dosham karoti, faulty nor praiseworthy.
Yes. Bhava.
Am I continue or somebody?
Yeah, you can continue with the bhava.
Okay. Bhavaha prabandhasya kasyachit puratanatvam na gunakaram nutanatvancha na doshakaram.
Kasyachit prabandhasya, for any work, puratanatvam na gunakaram. The fact, the quality of being old is not contributing towards its quality, gunakaram. Nutanatvam cha, if the work is new, it doesn't mean that it should be filled with faults.
Yatohi ya nutanatvena idanim dushayitum ishyate tadeva kalantare puratanam bhavati.
So nutanatvena idanim dushayitum ishyate. Ishyate is it is being desired to censure or abuse. You want to scold something saying that it is new, tadeva kalantare puratanam bhavati. That itself becomes old after some time.
Yacha puratanatvena upadatum ishyate tadapi swakale nutanameva.
Upadatum, to take it, swikartum ishyate. Tadeva swakale. When whatever we want to accept today as old, that would have been new at its time. Okay. Visheshaha. This is the shlokam by Kalidasa. He says this in the beginning in Malavikagnimithram, which is a drama by him. Puranamityeva nasadhu sarvam nachapi kavyam navam iti avadyam. Santaf parikshya anyatarad bhajante moodhaha parapratyayanaye buddhi is the second and last line. So Puranam ityeva na sarvam sadhu. Puranam ityeva, just by the fact that it is old, it doesn't mean that it is good. Nachapi kavyam navam iti avadyam. Avadyam is you don't avoid a kavyam because it is new. The next line is, so what do we do about it? So how do we take the gunadosha of any kavyam? Santaha parikshya anyatarat bhajante. Santaha, good people, parikshya, they analyze both and then accept one or the other. Anyatarat bhajante. It's only fools who are led by others. Moodhaha parapratyaya neya buddhi. Moodha, a fool, is a person who has an intellect, buddhi, which is led by parapratyaya, by another person's knowledge. If someone says this is old, then he just follows that. If someone says, no, don't go to this, go to this, then he will just follow. Sahatu moodha. A good person would always analyze for himself and decide. Clear? Any doubts? Okay. Tadatve nutanam sarvam ayatyancha puratanam na doshaya etadubhayam na gunaya cha kalpate. pravrittam anaghe marge pramadyantim api kvachit na vacham avamanyante nartakimiva bhavukaha. So the second part which Kalidasa said, Santaf Pariksha Anyatarad Bhajante, he takes it in the form of a shloka here. Even if there is a little bit of mistake, bhavukaha, those who are rasikaha, they will ignore it. It's okay. They will take the good that is there. You will always have to be very positive and take only the positive from it, and then leave out the negative part from what you read. So that is what real rasikas do. Pravrittam anage marge nartakim iva. He compares this to he compares his work or vak to a nartaki, a dancer. So usually a dancer who is anaghe marge pravrittam, one who is proceeding in a very faultless marga. Margam is a path. It is a way of dance. So there are two types of dances, which is marga and deshi. Marga is a more shastric form of dance, whereas deshi is a kind of folk mixture there, which is rooted in folk tradition. So deshi also means that which is confined to particular regions. Like in today's thinking, we say Bharatanatyam is very south, and Manipuri you have rights in north and the northeast, and Kathak is a north. So these are all very regional influences for the Shastriya Bharatanatyam or Shastriya dances. Even in the Shastriya dances, there are people who will incorporate the Deshi style and dance. So there are two kinds of pathways where you can, for a broader understanding, you can take it as classical and folk. These are two branches. The classical is called marga. It is a kind of nrittam. Deshi is your folk. A nartaki who is going in this, who is dancing according to this marga style of nrittam, that margam is an anagha. It is a classical form of dance. So there are no faults as such in it. As she is proceeding, kvachit pramadyantim api. Pramadaha is mistake. Tamil pramadam illa. In the Tamil, I like to mention this because sometimes when we have the word pramadaha, we confuse it and say, oh, beautiful, abdingra arthatla, we will take it with that influence of Tamil. But in Sanskritam, pramadaha is mistake. So pramadyanti means even if she does a mistake, kvachit, in some places, still bhavukaha na avamanyante. They will not apamanam na kurvanti. They will not disregard that dancer. In the same way, vacham, even though he has started writing, he says kavihi katyate srashta ityadikam to yadyapi uktam anena, tadhapi he says I might slip at some point also. I don't know. So vacham anaghe marghe pravrittam vacham. Vak is in strilinga padam. So anaghe marge pravrittam goes for vacham also. You can take it for both the nartaki and for the vak. A vak or speech which is proceeding in a faultless path. Kvachit pramadyanti. There could arise some slip. Everything need not be perfect and correct, right? You can't get 100% all the time. There will be a slip at some point or the other. So kvachit pramadyantim api bhavukaha na avamanyante. The bhavukaha or rasikaha, bhaktaha, those who are here to study understand about God or Krishna, those who are bhaktas or those who are sahridaya. Sahridaya are those people who have the same wavelength. They do not disregard this poetry or they do not insult this poetry, the speech. Now we go word by word, becomes clearer. Because he's going to give two meanings for anaghe, marge, and then for kvachit pramadyantim and bhavukaha. So it is a slishtopama, where the upama has the slesha also. Yeah, he has mentioned that. We'll go over that also. Okay. So anaghe, Shankari Mother, do you want to do this?
प्रतिपदार्थः अनघे सकलपापक्षयकारिणी अनघे सकलपापक्षयकारिणी.
So you can give the meaning also. When it is a speech, it is a anagha marge pravritta vak. Adhuna tu Krishna katha kathyate. Tasmat tatra sakala papa kshayam prapnoti sa vak. That is why he says anaghe marge pravritta vak. So sakala papam, it removes all the sin. It is capable of removing all the sin.
विगलित वेद्यांतर रसानंद संधायिनी च संधायिनी च
माति போடுறாரே இல்ல correct தான். Yes, this is with regards to the nartaki. vigalita vedyantara rasa ananda sandhayini. Sandhayini na that which is able to bring rasanandam in a way in which vedyantara anyat vedyam kimapi nasti tat sarvam vigalitam abhavat iti tadrisha rasanandam janayati nartaki. You realize? So a nartaki, when she dances, she is able to evoke that rasam in the audience, by which we forget about everything else. So vigalitam vedyantaram. Vedyam is something that has to be understood. Vedyam. Anyat vedyam vedyantaram. Anything else that we have to understand has completely vigalitam, have completely dissipated. And we understand, what do we understand? Only rasananda. The way she dances, we can only feel and see that Radha or Shiva, whatever rasam that she wants to convey, that nartaki, tad rasananda sandhayini. Sandhayini is prapayati.
Marge bhagavat charita gratana rupe pati marga namni nritteva.
So in a margam, yeah, tell me. Is that clear?
Bhagavat charita gratana rupe pati athava marga namni nritteva. Pravrittam prasritam udyuktam va. Okay.
Prasrita here is nartak. Prasrita is vak that has gone into this marga, and udyukta here is in the nartaki paksha, where she is making an effort to dance the marga.
Nartakimiva nritte kritabhyasam vanitamiva.
In the Utyuktam Gardhavada, it is not the Abhinaya that she is doing. Isn't that what it means?
Yeah, she is making an effort. Dane. She has started getting into that Marga dance.
Okay.
Vacham kavitam kvachit kasminshit bhagavat charita guna varnana vishaye shabdartha guna doshadi vishayeva.
So either in the case of the speech, it is when you are trying to describe the Bhagavad Guna, probably there is some mistake, or there is you don't pay attention to certain details. That could be possible. Or when in the case of a nartaki, Shabda Artha Guna Doshadi Vishaye, there are words that are being sung. She is actually displaying through her abhinayam, trying to give out the artha. So in this process there could be a problem.
Like that SP Shailaja in Salangai Oli.
Correct. Panchabhutam.
Pramadyantim api anavadhanam api.
So without paying attention, even if the nartaki is not paying attention to some of the words and the meanings, or even if the poet is not, or the speech doesn't pay attention, it is not giving particular attention to Bhagavad Charitre Vidyamana Sarvan Gunan Prati Tatra Avadhanam Nasti Vachi.
Bhavakaha Bhaktaha Nritta Visheshajnaha va.
experts in dance.
Critics also, right?
Critics, yes.
Na avamanyante, na apamanena tiraskurvanti.
You bring that na with the verb here. Apamanena na tiraskurvanti. They do not avoid it or reject it because of by insulting. Okay.
Bhavaha. Papakshayakare bhagavacharita nibandhana rupe marge prasrutayaha vagrupayaha kavitayaha kutrachit pramadepi marga nritye anavadhye sushikshitam nartakimiva bhaktaha rasajñascha tam anumanyante eva.
No, what you should just split this into 2 sentences. Easier. Bhagavat Charitra Nibandhana Rupam Margam Rupaha Margaha Papakshayakaraha Bhavati. Tasmat Tadrishe Marge Prasritayaha Vagrupayaha Kavitayaha Kutrachit Pramadaha Bhavet Bhavedva Nava Na Janimaha. Tarhi Bhaktaha Tadrisha Pramade Vidyamane Api रस भक्ताः ताम वाचम अथवा ताम कविताम न अवमन्यन्ते ते किंतु अनुमन्यन्ते एव. Is it clear? This is one. कीदृशम् अस्ति? What is the comparison here? उपमानं तु अत्र कविना किं क्रियते? उपमानेन मार्गे मार्गनाम्नि नृत्ये सुशिक्षिता काचन नर्तकी वर्तते. यद्यपि सा सुशिक्षिता वर्तते क्वचित् अभिनयकरण समये तत्र प्रमादः जायेत. तर्हि सा तां नर्तकीं रसज्ञाः प्रमादं தள்ளி வச்சுட்டு என்ன சொல்றது அபஸ்ருத்தியவா ஆமா தாம் நர்த்தகீம் அனுமன்யந்தே அப்படின்னு இவ்வளவு சென்டென்சஸ் எழுதலாங்க. You don't need one big thing like this. Is that clear?
विशेषः अघविरुद्धम् अनघम्.
न अघम अनघம்னு போடலாம். விருத்தங்கிறது இதுல வருமா என்ன? I don't think there is a
okay. Na, that viruddham is equal to na.
Na, ama. Nasti agham yasya iti anagham, because this is an adjective to marga. You know, I will just put this in bracket. Yeah, agham nasti yasya is equal to anagham. சரியா?
அந்த previous ஸ்லோகால நீங்க அந்த மாலவிக அக்னி மந்திரத்தோட full இது கொடுக்க முடியுமா? நீங்க half
full ஸ்லோகமா போடலாமே. ஓகே, ஒரு நிமிஷம், I'll just pause. நிருத்தம் ஷில்பம் அஸ்யாஹ இதி நர்த்தகி, இது பரவாயில்ல, this is okay. Now alankaras atra marga bhavuka shabdabhyam भिन्नार्थद्वय बोधात् मार्ग इति शब्दस्य प्रथमं कवितारूपः मार्गः इति वाक्पक्षे. If you take it in the paksha of nartaki, then it is marga namni adena dance illaya nrittam. Then bhavukangardu edukum poludhu bhaktahana you take it in the paksham of vak, and then you take it as Sahridaya in the Nartaki Paksha or Rasagnya, Nritta Visheshagnaha. So these two words have two meanings, hence there is Slesha Alankara. Slishta pada upattayoho dvayoho arthayoho vachaha nartaki samye samana dharmasya siddhyartham abhedadyavasayaha iti atishayokti alankaraha. Tanmulaha nartakim iva iti upamalankaraha. Easiest to understand is nartakim iva ityatra upamalankaraha. Now I told you about this abhedadyavasaya. When you use slishta pada, The last time also we saw marga gives the meaning of both one marga and the other marga. You are actually superimposing both vak and nartaki. The samana dharmam has been mentioned only as one padam, and that pada has two meanings. So there is a complete superimposition of one meaning over the other. Hence it is atishayokti alankara. புரியுறதில்லையா?
இந்த ஸ்லேஷ சொல்லுங்க எனக்கு அந்த
ஸ்லேஷன்னா நம்ம தமிழ் ஸ்லேடை மாதிரி தான். ரெண்டு மீனிங் இருக்கணும் ஒரு வேர்டுக்கு, அவ்வளவுதான். மார்கங்கிற பதத்துக்கு there are two meanings. There can even be 3 meanings, 4 meanings. It depends on the context. Champuramayana, when you read Balakanda, there is a particular shloka which says apagam apagamiva அப்படின்னு ஒரு ஸ்லோகம் end ஆகும். There are some 4 or 5 meanings for that apaga. Gam iva gauhu அப்படிங்கறத வந்து he takes it as bharati, prithvi, gauhu iti surabhi, and then gauhu iti samanya any cow அப்படின்லாம் அவர் வந்து gauhu vak அப்படி மீனிங் எடுத்துட்டு அவர் போடுவார். So the whole shloka will fit 4 or 5. எந்தெந்த இடத்துல there are bhinna arthadvaya bodha bhavati. Wherever you use one word for it to indicate 2 different meanings, then it is Shlesha Alankara.
Yamakam?
Yamakam vera. Yamakam vandu, it is a Shabda Alankara. It is not an Artha based. It is a combination of consonants. The consonants can, it is just a combination of consonants. They need not make a full word there. அர்த்தம் அங்க வந்து ஃபிட் ஆகணும்ங்கற அவசியம் இல்ல.
வைஜெயந்தி கூட அதே மாதிரி தான அதுக்கு two meanings நம்ம சொன்னோம் இல்லையா?
இல்ல அந்த இடத்துல வந்து it is more of a இது என்ன சொல்றது துவனி மாதிரி சொல்றோம். Because we are taking the meaning of Vaijayanti Mala, its tattvam behind it, and we are saying we are not denying, we are not giving a totally different meaning for Vaijayanti. வைஜெயந்தின்னு மாலையை சொல்லிட்டு வைஜெயந்திங்கிற பர்சனை நம்ம சொல்லலையே. இட்ஸ் நாட் லைக் தட். இட் இஸ் த மாலா இட் செல்ஃப் which stands, symbolizes for something else. அவ்வளவுதாங்க. பிரவృత్తాம் அனகே மார்கே பிரமாத்யந்தீமபி க்வசித் ந வாசம் அவமன்யந்தே நர்த்தகீமிவ பாவுகாஹ. Is it clear? Any doubts?
The Nutanatvam Puratanatvam is because when something is created new, the fall might have been rectified and it would become perfected over time. That's why Puratanatvam is better. That's what usually do.
No, not necessary. No, that is not the case. Here there are theses that have come about which say Apaninian usages in Kalidasa. There was a trend in the mid 70s, 80s and all to write about wrong grammatical usages in kavyas or Kalidasa's works or Valmiki's works. So that is what he is trying to say. Whether it is kvachit pramadyanti or not, it doesn't matter. You leave out that and you take in the rasam. That's all.
Okay.
Someone else had a question?
Bhagini, atishayokti alankara, drishtalankara.
Drishtanta is different. See, drishtanta is just bimba pratibimba bhavam. You need to have 2 things there. 2 samanya dharma. Here samana dharma is superimposed upon itself here.
Oh, this is samana dharma, that is samanya dharma.
It's the same. Samanya dharma, samana dharma is all the same. But there are 2 different samana dharmas there. Here it's not like that. It is an upamalankara clearly. The words that you use, marga, bhavuka, etc., you are saying bhavukaha eva atra bhavukaha bhavanti iti. Though rasagnaha eva nritta visheshagnaha. Instead of saying like something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Drishtanta is different.
It's totally different there. Yeah. It's just a reflection like a mirror. You have 2 things which have to be there. Here there is only one.
Okay.
Okay. So now he says, I'm going to enter into the writing of Krishna Katha. Vihaya tadaham bridam vyasa vedarnavamritam vakshye vibudha jivatum vasudeva sutodayam. Vrida is the same here. La and da are synonymous. If you look at it, it is there in the Veda also. Generally, you won't find this in kavyams. But because of certain regional influences also, you can use this la here. If you, the first rik in Rigveda, Agnimile Purohitam, is actually Agnim Ide Purohitam. Ide is the dhatu. It is not Ide. Ide is the dhatu. But when you pronounce it in Rigveda, you say Agnimile Purohitam. So la is a substitution that you find in many cases. Many people use it. Even in Marathi, you will find this very common. The da is replaced by la. Vihaya tadaham bridam. You can write it as brida also. Vyasa vedarnava amritam vakshye vibudha jivatum vasudeva sutodayam. Tat aham vridam vihaya. Tat means tasmat karanat. Hence. Ataha iti. So tat tasmat. Because, you know, people, Rasikas do not mind if there are some mistakes here and there. It doesn't matter. They look at the bhava and they are able to appreciate it. Because of that reason, Vridam Vihaya, letting go of my Vrida, Lajja, Anye Apahaseyuhu iti Lajjam Vihaya Aham Vedanta Desika Vakshye. I'm going to talk about Vasudeva Suta Udayam. Vasudeva Sutasya Udayam Krishnasya Abhyudaya Charitam. So this title is also Yadavasya Abhyudayam, right? So Vasudeva Sutasya Udayam, the rise of Krishna is right from his birth to all of his exploits. So his Udayam, which is Vyasa Veda Arnava Amritam. Vyasasya Vedaha, which is Mahabharatam, or Vyasasya Vedaha ityukte Vyasena Veda Vibhagaha Kritaha, Vedanam Vibhagaha Kritaha, Tarihi Vyasasya Vedaha te Vedaha eva Arnavaha Tatra Amrita Rupena Vidyamanam tu Bhagavatameva Vasudevasya Charitam. So you forget about Vedas in your exam, because that is, I don't think that is there in the explanation here, but this is an explanation that I like to give because of the fact that in Bhagavatam there is a mention Nigama Kalpataror Galitam Phalam. We saw this even in the first or the second Amritam Yadi Labhyeta Kinna Grihyeta Manavaihi Ityatratu Asmabhihi Drishtameva. How Nigamaha Vedas are like a Kalpataru, and a fruit that falls from there is Bhagavatam. It just not falls down to our hands, but it goes through the mouth of Shuka, and it has that Madhurasam also, and that is Bhagavatam for us. So Vasudeva Sutasya Udayam, which is the story of Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam, for practical purposes, people only talk about the Dashamaskanda in detail. You go to Pravachanams and all, they will cover the first 9 skandhas in 2 days and then spend the rest of the 7 days for main Dashamaskanda. And then last, they will conclude with half a day. They will finish off the rest. That's it. So it is for primarily the only Krishna Charitam is given importance there in Bhagavatam. Vyasa Veda Arnava Amritam. Vyasasya Vedaha. Here he takes it as Mahabharatam. And Mahabharatam is like a Samudram. Because Vyasa wrote, after writing Mahabharatam, he felt very dejected and he wanted to write the Saram of this world. He wrote Bhagavatam. This is there in the beginning of Bhagavatam itself, that he was completely dejected that he had written so many Puranas and Mahabharatam and everything, which were all Dharma Pradhanam. and bhakti was completely lost. So he wanted to write something which is the sarabhutam of everything. So Narada comes and tells him that it is bhakti that is the sarabhutam here. So Vyasa Veda Arnava Amritam, which is Vasudeva Sutodayam, and it is also Vibudha Jivatu. It is like the Jivatu or survival thing, which is the Jivana Aushadham for Vidwan. Vibudhaha eva atra vidvamsaha. All this is like the essence for all the scholars. If you take any Puranam, Bhagavatam is probably the most difficult as far as language goes. Every other Puranam would be very easy. So scholars find it a joy to read this Bhagavatam. Of course, it also gives you Vedanta, it gives you Bhakti, it gives you a good exercise in grammar. Many Sankhya Tattvam is there. There are so many aspects that a scholar would want to test his brain with. So this is like a Jivatu. It is like the lifeline for scholars. Tat aham vakshye. I want to talk about Krishna's Charitam, which is like a lifeline for scholars and which is like an amritam or the saram for of Vyasa's Vedas. Veda here, Bharat of Panchamo Vedaha iti vaktum shakyate. So you take it as Mahabharatam, or you take it as the four Vedas, which have also been Vibhatta, which have been, it was separated branch-wise by Vyasa. This is one meaning. Now another meaning, this Atishayokti that we saw will apply here also. How does it apply? Amritam, you take it as Arnava Amritam. Arnavasya Amrita, Arnavat yat Amritam Agatam Purvam Samudra Mathana Samaye. When the milk of the ocean, Dugdhabdi, was churned, Amritam came out of it, and that Amritam is the Jivatu, it is the lifeline for Vibudha. Vibudha also means Devas. Suraha. Suranam Aushadham iva, Jivana Aushadham iva asit. That's why they were ready to even trade that for this, but this was a better Amritam for them. The Krishna Katha was a better Amritam for them, and they were willing to trade their Amritam pot with this. So, in other words, he is not directly mentioned that Krishna Katha is like Amritam, but he has used the word Amrita. He has also used the word Vibudha to mean both Devas and scholar. Amritam to mean like Amritam Eva, or you can just take it as directly, just as how Amritam is like the lifeline for Devas. The same manner, this Krishna Katha, which is like an Amritam, is also a Bhogya Vastu. It is easier for them to enjoy, for the scholars to enjoy. Is that clear? As we read the this thing, it will become clearer. Pratipadartha, who wants to go? Lata or
Pratipadartha. Tat tasmat karanat aham kavihi Vedanta acharya vridam or Vreelam, okay. Apahasishyanti iti.
Apahasishyati, they will ridicule. Apringra lajja, the shame.
Vihaya tyaktva Vyasa Vedarnavamritam. Vyasasya Vedaha Mahabharatam Tatheva Arnavaha Samudraha Tasya Amritam Amritavat Sarabhutam Vibudha Jivatum Vibudhanam Vidusham Devanam Jivatum Bhogya Padartham.
Bhogyam is that which can be enjoyed. So this Krishna Katha is a padartha. It is a creation which can be enjoyed by the scholars. So the second one, you take it with the second one. Devanam Jivana Aushadham.
Vasudeva Sutodayam Vasudeva Sutasya Krishnasya udayam. Abhyudaya charitam vakshiye varnayishye.
I will describe this story of Krishna.
Bhavaha. Mahatam marge pravrittatvat papakshaya karna prabandha grathane pramade satyapi bhaktanam tatra heya abhavancha lajjam tyaktva.
Wait. So lajjam tyaktva. Now why does he say that tadaham vridam tyaktva tasmat karanat kasmat karanat? So you will have to provide the cause there, the reason there. Why is he prepared to let go of his shame? Now he gives a small capsule of the earlier shloka to say that the earlier shloka is the reason here. Mahatam marge pravrittatvat, because I have started going in the path of great people like Vyasa and Valmiki. Papakshaya kara prabandha grathane, in trying to grathanamna todukkardhu, like stringing a garland. So in writing a work which is capable of removing our sins, pramade satyapi, even if there is a mistake, bhaktanam tatra heya bhava abhavat, because there is the absence of anything that has to be removed. Because they are all bhakta, they don't feel the necessity to just exclude any part in this work because they are bhaktas and they feel it is okay even if there is a mistake, we will not ignore it. So bhaktanam heya bhava abhavat, because it has the quality of not being rejected by devotees. Now he gives these two reasons for that tat. Priyarda? So lajjam tyaktva, after letting go of my lajjam. Yeah. You have a question?
Yeah. Sorry. What is heya bhava? What is
heya? Odikkardu nartham. Something that has to be avoided. Varjanam. Heyo padeya are two opposite things. Upadeyam is something that you have to accept. Angikaryam. Heyam is something that is to be rejected. Tiraskaryam.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Mahabharata sarabhutam vidusha jivana aushadharupam Krishna abhyudaya charitam aham varnayishye iti kavihi vadati.
So I will describe this Jivana, this Krishna's Charitam, which is like a Jivana Aushadharupam, which is like a medicine for their life for these scholars, and it is also Mahabharata Sarabhutam. It is a essence of Mahabharata. Okay. But yeah, Alankaras vande we have Rupaka Alankara. Oh, okay. Sorry. I thought it was Atishayokti Alankara here. No. It is only Rupaka and it is Slesha Rupaka. 1 minute. Rupaka Mundi. It's not Atishayokti. Okay. It says so. We would leave it like that. Okay. So, atra vyasa vedarnava amritam ityatra vedaha eva arnavaha. So, when you have the superimposition of two things where both are mentioned, you have Veda Arnava. Vedas are Samudram. It is like a metaphor here. So, that is Rupaka Alankara, where there is an Aropaha. Vibudha Jivatum Ityatra, Vibudha Shabde Sleshena. There are two meanings for the word Vibudha, where Vidvamsaha eva Devaha. Vidwans are, the scholars are Devas here. Iti Abeda Aropat, because there is a complete Aropaha here. So it is Rupaka Alankara. Now, why do we take this as Rupaka Alankara and not Atishayokti like the last time? Because here the Veda part is mentioned, Arnava part is mentioned. Whereas in the earlier one, you don't have that Marga and marga are directly just used. Marge pravritta iti. You don't have both here. It is an upama. Generally in upama alankara, it is tough to find rupakam also. So you take it as atishayokti here. Such a vibhuda jivatum mityatra slesha anupranitaha. Slesha is also included here. Doubt
Mahodaya, that marganatye eva rasananda sandhayini is there, but not in the deshi. That there also people do lot of abhyasam, and there are also,
yes, it is there.
There is no rasananda in that.
No, there is rasananda in that also. Absolutely. No question about it.
So why specifically they are giving importance to Marganatyam only in that?
And this is more like the poetry that he is trying to write is of a very Shastric kind, where he is talking in Sanskritam. He is not doing a Prakrita style of poetry here, which is more like a Deshi Margam, folk. Using Prakritam is more like a folk kind of thing, where you have Gatha Saptasati. There are other works where they have written only in அதாவது கொஞ்சம் கொச்சையா கூட இருக்கலாம் சில சமயம். But it may not, all scholars may not feel, oh, why are they, talking so அப்பட்டமா சொல்றா அப்படிங்கிற மாதிரி, so openly about a lot of things அப்படின்னு இருக்கும். The poetry in Prakrit will have more beauty there, more that is definitely more rasananda. So Deshi also has that rasananda. Here he says, because he is using Sanskritam, it is a Shastric marga. That's all.
And also, there only people are more forgiving, and they will not find fault in the Marganatyam.
In the Deshi Natyam. In the Deshi Natyam, it doesn't matter, because it is already a folk, and it is a more, many other things can also be included in it. Whether it is according to rules or not, whether there is a mistake or not, it doesn't matter. In the Deshi style or in the folk style, it's okay. There can be mistakes, because you will attribute it to dialectal differences, regional differences. So it's okay. People are more accepting there. But when you come to Shastra, you cannot afford to make a mistake. That is how a lot of people look at it, right?
Especially
that's right.
It's like composing new movie songs, right? It's not strictly, they don't follow the.
There are no rules there.
Yeah, they mix all kinds of things.
But you can't do that for Bharatanatyam. It has to come within that Karanas, within that whatever they are trying to do. You need that rules and regulations in the Bharatanatyam.
Okay.
So Vihaya Tadaham Vrilam Vyasa Vedarnavamritam Vakshya Vibhuda Jivatum Vasudeva Sutodayam. இதுல இருந்து we will start next class, because இது வந்து ஒரு 45 minutes இதுவே போகும்.